I'm Phil from the 100, and you're listening to Louder.
So I'm here with Phil of the 100.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Have been driving along recently?
Quite a bit, yeah. The last couple of days have been pretty hectic. I mean, we've been up to Scotland a couple of days ago. Played Glasgow, and I mean that's a long old way, like from wherever we are in the country. Like, I mean, we did it from Nottingham to Glasgow on a day off, and even then, like the day after, we were all just like knackered, and then it's literally straight back down again. And stopped off in Leeds last night for a show, and then we're now here at Birmingham. So it's been a long old tour so far.
Are you actually the driver?
There's three of us who do it. And it's so we kind of like rotate it, like some of us do it in the evening and then the next person will do like a bit during the day, and then so it's sort of split quite nicely between us, but it's still pretty tiring.
Okay. And Monster was released just a few weeks ago.
It was, yeah.
With a crazy video.
Yes.
Scary little child.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about nightmares? Because it gave me some.
Did it really?
Yeah, it's a really scary video.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting sort of concept. It's kind of like the first video we've ever really done of that kind, with a kind of a bit of a narrative to it, if that makes sense. I mean, there's no performance in it really. There's Jacob doing his sort of thing, but there's no actual band performance, and that's always a thing that me personally I've always been kind of interested. I don't think it's a big deal to not have the band in the video sort of thing. I like that it was sort of narrative driven in a way, and it was really fun. It was a long 2 days of filming, but it was really rewarding with the final product and how it came out. Like, it was like one of the best things that we've all put our name to. I think and the 100 band has put their name to, sort of thing. It's really rewarding how it came out, I think.
So I have detected some sort of a progression process in your videos.
Yes.
From some onesies.
Yeah.
So now, is this the sign of the future?
I'm not too sure really. Like, when it comes to like the actual monsters in the video as well, like we've kind of got this idea now. It'd be quite cool if they were kind of recurring characters, if that makes sense. Like, not so much like doing a monster part 2 and like it's like a follow-up, like a sequel or anything like that. It'd be kind of cool to do. We've always thought it'd be kind of cool to have them sort of dropped into like another video, like if they were just sort of there in the background or the mask was there. So it would be kind of cool to think that like the songs or the videos themselves are actually tying in to one another. So yeah, it's always kind of been a bit of an idea that we've got kind of going around with the next couple of songs that we may or may not be releasing from the album. So,
and as I said, the video was scary.
Yeah.
Can we talk about nightmares from your childhood? Any returning features from your nightmares as a kid?
I can't really think of any, to be honest. Like, not that I can think of. I think I was pretty good as a kid, to be fair. There's not too many things that freak me out too much.
Phobias?
I'm not a great flyer. I don't really like flying. I think it's kind of unnatural being on a bit of metal flying up in the air like thousands of feet up in the air. But yeah, that's one thing I'm not a fan of. I don't really like roller coaster or anything like that either.
And the message behind the song is about labels.
It's kind of about people like jumping on bandwagons, I guess, and kind of that's basically it really. People jumping on a bandwagon and sort of forgetting everyone else and just concentrating on this one thing. And even though there's a bit like other people like putting a lot more effort into other things or hard work into other things, but not worrying about those sort of people and just sort of going to whatever is current then and there, sort of thing.
So it's not really about self-acceptance?
Not really.
That's what I got from it.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where, like, I don't personally write the lyrics. Like, Jacob writes all the lyrics, so he would know more, obviously. But I think like it's all, people can interpret that sort of thing, and people can interpret lyrics however they want, and if it makes them think that's what it's about, then that's fine. Like, it doesn't bother us. Like, that's okay. So that's kind of the wonders of music, I suppose, and good lyrics, I suppose.
And as a band, you guys seem as a very united front.
Yes.
But not really being there for one another. You let Jacob grow that mullet for far too long.
Yeah, it's getting long, isn't it? It's I'm not quite sure what his thinking is there, but we gave him a rendition of Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus the other night, because he was sort of the king of the mullet way back when. So I think Jacob's trying to sort of bring that kind of vibe back, but you know, he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to look like that, then let him.
So what's the band's most annoying habit? One of the members, what might bring the end of the band? Except for mullets.
Yeah, except for mullets. I can't think of one for one particular person. I think just in general, like we always say that we don't when we go out on tour, we don't tour like very well. Like we've been out with bands before, and like on their days off, or like whenever they get to like somewhere brand new they've never been before, they want to go out and explore and all that kind of thing. And we're all very like we're a bit lazy like that, and it drives me up the wall. I know it really annoys me, and I think it like annoys some of the other guys sometimes as well. But it's just like we get to a new place and it's kind of like, oh, can't really be bothered to go anywhere. Let's kind of just like sit in the venue, and it's like, oh, I'm bored of the venue now. Let's try and go out, and we'll sort of get like 10 minutes down the road and be like, oh, should we just turn around and go back? Like it's a bit annoying, but yeah, that's probably like a trait that we're all pretty guilty of.
I've seen the video from Cologne, I think.
Yes.
I think you tried to drag everyone to go and see the Cathedral.
We went to the Cathedral. Yeah, and
didn't work out.
Not really. We got there, but I think everyone was moaning because it was too cold, because it was sort of like middle of March sort of time, so it wasn't like the warmest day. But stuff like that. I mean, to be fair, like when we actually went on the 2 European tours that we did last year, like with Crossfade and Don Broco, we tried our best to go and see like a lot of the places that we'd never been to, sort of thing. But sometimes like some of the places that you go, they all sort of tend to blend into one another, like unless there's something really spectacular about the place that you're actually in. And sometimes even cities in the UK as well, like you can feel like they're just sort of mould into one. There's not anything stand out from each one kind of thing. But well, we try our best.
So you the experiencer, and the others are more into taking selfies and going back to the hotel?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And you've mentioned last year you guys toured with Crossfade.
We did.
It took you about a year to recover from that hangover and make your way back to Europe.
Yeah, it did. Like, yeah, we that was like the first time we'd ever been out of the UK with Crossfade at the beginning of 2016, and that was a really eye-opening experience to know what it's like to play in front of a brand new audience, because at that point we'd toured quite a few times like across the UK, and we'd had the EP out as well, so people kind of knew us, and we'd had like pretty good exposure from like media and all that kind of thing. But to actually go out to countries and play to people who literally had no idea who we were was amazing, really. Like, that's what you always want. You always want to be playing in front of brand new people all the time. And it was one of the best experiences we've had touring, definitely. To go to all the different places that we went to in such a short amount of time as well. It was really, really rewarding.
To make it more difficult, you tried to drink Hero from under the table. It didn't work.
No, it didn't. There was one particular night that we had about, was it 3 days in or 4 days in? I can't remember now. It might have been 4 days into the tour.
It all mixes into one.
Yeah, it does. But this particular night stands out horrifically. It was our drummer Joe's birthday, and it was Teru, Crossfade's synth player. It was their birthday the same day, and that was a messy night. There was a lot of alcohol drunk that night, and the hangovers the next day were not good. Like, really, all of us, we were in a bad way. And we had a show that day as well, and the show was almost a write-off instantly. Like, never play very well on a hangover, and we've sort of like learned a lesson now that we only can get steaming drunk the night before if we've got a day off the next day, because then you can just like write off the next day and it'll be fine. Not have a show the next day, like, I'll never forget that night. As much as I can remember it, I'll never forget it. Like, it was pretty crazy.
And another weird interaction you had was before Subculture was released. You guys released a cover.
We did.
For Black Widow?
Yes, that's
and
right.
I know you have some sort of a love-hate relationship with that song.
Yes.
You're not going to release another cover before the release of Chaos and Bliss.
No, we're not. No, that was like a one-off thing. It was like a bit of fun. People, I think, was it just, you say it was just before? I can't actually remember when we released it.
I think that was kind of promoting it just before.
Yeah, just before the EP. So yeah, it was just a bit of fun. Like, it was a song that we'd heard, and we thought, it'd be quite a cool thing to cover, and just sort of whack a video up on YouTube, sort of thing. And we did that, and like the video got like a lot of views, like a lot more views than we were even expected. But it was just a bit of fun, and we played it live like a handful of times, but the problem with like covers is that some bands get known for just doing like 1 or 2 covers, and then they have it in their live set all the time and people just want to hear it all the time, whereas we did that as a bit of fun, put it on YouTube, played it a couple of times, and didn't really want to just be known as the band that did that cover of Iggy Azalea's song sort of thing. So we kind of just like played it at our first London headline show at the end of 2015, and that was about it really. And we've sort of get a few people asking for it. Like the other night in Nottingham, we had guys wearing Iggy Azalea masks, sort of expecting us to play it, and it was a bit like letting these people down. But it's like we haven't played it for a long time, and it was just a bit of fun, really.
Okay, and Chaos and Bliss is being released in just 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, 2nd of June. Yes.
What can you tell us about it before it is being released?
It's different to the EP, but it's still, I think there's a lot of songs on there that build from what we were sort of doing on the EP, in the sense that there's like those heavier, thrashier tracks, like we had like Kingsman, there's tracks like that on there, there's straight sort of hip-hop tracks on there's tracks with a bit more singing like Downfall, and there's just like, it's a big mix of different things, but it all sort of blends into like the 100 sound, if that makes sense. It's definitely a progression, and we're playing like an awful lot of tracks from it, like on this tour, because the album was sort of meant to be out in conjunction with this tour, and it's sort of like stuff like naturally will get delayed and all that kind of thing, so it hasn't sort of worked out. But we're playing a lot of songs from the tour, like from the album, and they're going down like really well, like for people to hear. And some of them like even like we've been playing for a long time as well, like Disengage, which is on the album, we've been playing since 2015. Monster we've been playing since last year. So there are songs that if people have seen us in the last year or so will know anyway, kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely got a 100 stamp on it. It's not a dramatic departure from anything else.
And if you've listened to even one of your songs,
yep,
you would know that you guys are influenced by many different genres.
Yes.
And at least one of you, I think it was even you that mentioned that you like James Brown. I think it was Jacob, but I think you were there as well when that happened.
Right, okay.
So did James Brown make it into the new album?
Let's see. Not quite. No. I don't think so. No.
It's electronic screaming, some grime.
Yeah, all those kind of like a bit more like American hip hop fused, like that kind of those style beats and all that kind of thing. So it's eclectic, and I think it's not one of those. It might not be an album where people go, "Oh, I get this straight away in the first listen," because there's so many different layers to it and parts to it that I think some people might, give it a bit of time, and it might take a few listens to actually really go, "Oh, yeah, I really like that," because there's so much going on at some points, but I think if people give it time, I think it'll eventually click and go, wow, this is actually like a really solid body of work by us. Hopefully, anyway. I think so.
And what's planned for the rest of the year? The album's going to be released 2nd of June.
Yeah, album's released 2nd of June, and then literally the week after that is Download. So we're playing Saturday afternoon Download this year on the Avalanche stage, I believe. And then we've got a couple of other festivals, doing 2000 Trees Festival. There's another festival that we're doing in August, which I don't think I can say about yet. And yeah, and then hopefully tour for the end of the year. We're sort of like booking something in as we speak. So yeah, there should be a lot going on for the rest of this year.
Are you aiming at the US as well?
Yeah, hopefully that is a plan. That is definitely a market that we're gonna like hopefully be tapping into. Fingers crossed towards the end of this year, and if not, definitely the beginning of next year.
Phil, anything else you want to add to fans and listeners?
Thank you for all the continued support, and if you haven't picked up or pre-ordered to Chaos and Bliss, you can do so now. It's out on the 2nd of June.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.